possible formation of an inverted head and shoulders pattern, with this being the left shoulder, this huge pierce down at 10,000 being the head. And is it going to be completing the second one? I'll say that with a question mark. Welcome. Today is the 17th day of September 2017. My name is Derek. Let's go over a bunch of different cryptos. A little quick, but I mean not too quick. And yeah, this is OK Cash on the 60-minute time frame. And I was a buyer, not a big one, but I bought at a bunch of different spots. I had a buy order barely over 10, which means I bought at this bottom. And then it just shoots up on almost a 100% gain within the day. That's just phenomenal. Phenomenal movements. And we can see in here support, support, support. So basically between 16 and 14. So therefore there could be some still further decline to continue out with this inverted head and shoulders pattern. But it's went down enough where after all of this has been said and done, if you see first momentum up and towards here, okay, this is looking good, because now you're testing this area, which is a lot easier to break. And if you do, well, you could have some decent gains. Let's move this onto the daily time frame. And this is very, very extended. Definitely not a spot other than day trading. You know something fundamentally that I don't know, where you would want to be a buyer. I already can see that if there's going to be any decent retracement, yeah, we're looking at around 7,000 to about 85 up to, well, 8,500. Yep. And that's about 50% down from 17 to 85. And I'm not saying that's going to happen, and definitely not for that matter anytime soon, but there is definitely wild volatility. I've already showed that pattern on the short-term time frame. So there could definitely be another leg higher. I've sold out of maybe a too small of a position. Well, I mean, if it goes up, it's going to work. But I've sold out a little bit of it, and I'm just looking for situations when to do such. And when we go back to the previous chart, because we had a situation of having that big move down to 10, almost doubling from that point, and it's been correcting for a little bit. I've already mentioned the established support level, that if you see price action into here, because it's been up so much, and I've already talked about, like, it can go down well, like so many others can, that there could be some decent further decline. And of course, breaking it above here, when these markets go, they go. You could double again for who knows how much higher it could go. KMD is next on the daily time frame, and it made a statement on the September rally when it went from about 28,000 up to about close to 90, as it broke through this big level of resistance, and it also forces 18 average starting to rise after it had what looks to be a successful correction. And it only broke it by a bit, but enough to say, hey, you're making a statement in the reversal of trend. And so you come up, it's been supporting within this band, but it's been doing so a little weak. But at the same point, it has been holding that key area in which it was coming from, at least thus far. If this thing doesn't get going and you do see price action in the lower end of this range, then you're definitely looking at, like, okay, the setup was supposed to be that you were going to get going. Failed move, fast move situation could definitely be in play, but like on both sides of the fence, that's the negative situation. It has been going sideways, lower volatility. If you see some action with further momentum, especially with the shorter term time frame giving better credentials, and we'll take a look at the best shorter term chart. And the 4-hour paints a lot of indecision at this stage. We can see the rising 18 average of lows, declining 18 average of highs. That's one sign to show such. But when you look at the movements from this low, and that's normal, markets go way up, way down, yada, yada, yada. And then you have this spot, okay, let's get this thing back going. Another message, we're going to revert this trend on the 4-hour time frame. And then it corrects, has this move of breaking down, but back to this area. So it's really stuck within this more larger range of about 43,000 upwards to a hair over the 50 number. And a break on either one will give you a direction indicator to which side it's going. Next up is NXC, Nexium, and this is something, a radar look for me. A few things of notice. I mean, look at these candlestick moves. Even some moves like in here. When you see these present beautiful selling opportunities. So when I look at a market like this, I realize I would want to buy when the price action would be within this 18 average. I've seen this rally go up here, and even this one to the band. Here to the band. Here, back to the band. Here, same thing. Here, we'll see on the 5th attempt if it's able to get going without the necessity of having to go well within this, because any short-term corrections in here, if it can do such, and I mean when this thing gets going, because it's established a major level of resistance, it's tested this area quite often. The more often you test key levels, the more likely it is you end up taking it out. I asked myself the question, if it does take it out, where's the reasonable kind of moves? And a fast move that probably could happen within a day or two could be up to this maybe 12 to even 14 level, and who knows if it can make it to 19. But I mean, we've seen situations like this. I think the key thing is you have tokens and then you just put sell orders in. And what this means is if you don't get any position, okay, it's really expensive to buy now. I don't like to do so. If you buy a bit, no big whoop, as I would state. Find places to buy down in here, and then when you get positions in, okay, well, if you buy in here, you'd put a sell order in this area, maybe a small one here, but you definitely want to be placing them in this point here at this stage, because if it can do it around the 9th or so of July, 8th of July, from the price action of 81, then why not try for it? And within the 4-hour time frame, when you look at these moves in here, 53, quick up to 9,000, 80 or so % move, fast move lower. And then from this low of 4,800 up to about under 8,000, there's another like 70% move. And right now on this play here, 53, we've got about a 78, another similar kind of move. Is it going to follow the same pattern at some point? Well, that's the exact reason why I would not want to be a buyer right now, unless, like I stated before, it's like an original position with plans, of course, to buy here, but mainly buy in the key congested, cheaper areas. And these sets of strategies that I look at. Let's move on to the next chart. Let's now move on to the marijuana coins, or some of them anyway. There's a lot of them, starting with POT, P-O-T, and it's been in a major down move. We've seen it go from 7,000 down to what is now and at 2,052. Extreme moves to the downside. Of course, the declining 18 average in play. It's at the lower end of it. It's had only this one real attempt a few days ago to break above it, but it then retreated down, making lows not seen in several months. However, this is moving on the 1-hour time frame, and so far when we've seen this happen, when it moves up, it usually looks like the best thing to do is to sell and look to buy back. This broke past resistance, pulled back. Nice gain here, pull back. Same. And I mean, it could have huge gains. Just to say that it's because of that it's going to go down now, I mean, it could easily test into the 2000, then boom, come in with a this is the 1-hour time frame, by the way, but yeah, it's like a big move. So I would think, yeah, 22 to 23 could easily be reasonable. But with a lot of the coins like this, the whole message that I want to get across is they all seem to go up and down so fast. So let's take a look at some other ones. Let's move to dope, and on its 1-hour time frame, this is like I've been stating, they go way up and way back down. That's basically the theme I'm going over. 1,700 was the high, down to 790. Basically the idea I was stating, when this thing congests back to the 18 average on the daily time frame, decent ideas to buy. Let's take a look at the daily. And it's within the 18 average, and it has been since the big decline, but every single time we have a situation here where if you get within the band, you got it under 200 and it rose all the way to 12. Back to the band, which was between 350 and 5, and you had to move up to under 1,000. And in here, I mean, just boom, up in here, here, and then again in here. So the point of the message is, with a lot of them, they go up, way up, way down. So you don't know when they're going to go up. You buy in here, which is, say, like later parts of July, rather. And here you are waiting till the later parts of August just to get a decent sale in. And then you wait a few weeks later, and a couple weeks later, rather, and you got another one. And, well, you can start to buy back again. Question is it too high within this 18 average? Would you be better off waiting to the 18 average of lows? Because since this one, it hit it, this one hit it, and then pierced below. This one hit it, then pierced below. This one hit it, really didn't pierce below. So for me, I'd be looking to wait for a move to the 18 average of lows and then start playing sell orders. And even if you want to look at the short term, when you look at all these intraday moves like this, that gives you opportunities to even get quick day trades for decent profits. When we take a look at this on a 4-hour time frame. And I'm showing older data up to August 21st. But the whole thing is, you can see here where about 600 and something goes to 700 and something. You got a lot of these different day trades, and which you could play that if you find your time frame. One strategy might be you wait to buy when it's near the 18 average of lows, or even below it for that matter, and then you put sell orders decently above for that, or even just for near the areas of the high. Because if you're buying here at the 18 average of lows, then you would be buying at around 690-ish or so. You can sell at like 750. So, I mean, there's decent equity there. Let's move on to the next one. This is CANN on the daily time frame. And I mean, so easy to read this chart. There's really only one thing that can catch your eye, is what the beep bleep happened at this time. This didn't really happen. This is a misprint, right? No, it's not a misprint. Somebody, or I mean, this is a spot where you just basically buy the entire book over. It went to like 200,000. You could have made a fortune having sell orders here, but who's going to be the genius that's going to say, yep, okay, so you just bought yourself some can? Yeah, what'd you get it at? And you'd say about 400. Oh, where do you want to sell it at? Oh, a little under 200,000. It would have worked. It would have worked. That is the sick part. I'm going to take a look at this in 2 time frames. I'm going to watch the daily chart just from here, and then we're going to look up to here, because there's not much more that I can do, because this really does make it hard to read the chart. And there's not much data, of course, because of that misprint, but you can see these wild moves. On around the 17th or so of the month, you go from under 1,700, a quick retracement to 900, and then further down to 4. This day, in itself, look at the profitability here. If you had your sell order anywhere in here, even at like 820, you're able to buy back. And then the next day, you do the same thing. You're able to buy back. It's just wild. And I might as well take a look at this data on the 4-hour time frame, then go back to the daily chart from before. And I think the easiest way to play this is to have your sell orders really high and buy back really deep. Nothing wrong with putting big sell orders for 50 to 2 to 3, 4, 500% gains. But then, you know what, look for 50% better corrections, because especially when you buy extremely high, because they usually happen. This is what the chart looked like the day before that event when it went to under 200,000, as it was showing a nice little setup in here to go long. Maybe someone thought it was an extremely too good of a setup, but again, the notifications of all these moves. If you were a wise guy thinking, hey man, let's buy 400 and all the way below, and then look to sell at 460 all the way higher, I mean, you could be flip-flopping back and forth for days. And then what would happen is you would start buying in here, and your selling isn't coming in. And if you decided, oh, maybe I should buy some more, well, no matter what happened, your sell orders obviously came in. And if you had sell order obviously at around 100,000, it would have also came in. Next chart. THC on the daily time frame, and this site can't handle sites logarithmically below the 100 number, but fast move down. And all of these little spikes come down really fast. And this last one that happened has been, again, no exception to the past. And finally, TKS, Tokes. Can you get the idea of what I'm trying to say? Look at how fast every time this gets above the 18 average. We're seeing all of these lines come in, and it usually even pierces below the 18 average quite frequently. So would I be a buyer now? No, I'll wait till it goes below the 18 average. Thank you for tuning in, and have yourself a great day.